Hey guys, welcome back to another RASK coding tutorial or just video, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys about one of my projects called Vanilla Template, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a simple template you can use to build Vanilla.js projects. So you might be thinking, why do you need a template to build a Vanilla.js project? Like, isn't the whole point that you just kind of make it yourself without actually using any sort of framework? And yeah, you can do that. So you can just create an index.html file and a script.js file, but this can get pretty difficult, especially if you have a lot of files, a lot of pages, and also if you want to use TypeScript, because TypeScript is going to require an external process, and then you have to also manage all of your JavaScript files. So instead of doing all that, I want to show you guys this template or npm package which I made, which basically lets you just really quickly create vanilla apps, and it still maintains the simplicity of building a vanilla apps. So show you guys an example. So first what you want to do is install it from npm globally. I've already done that, and then what I'm going to do is just going to delete these two to show you if you're starting from scratch. So I've created my folder, and I'm going to cd into it like this, and then similar to create vanilla app, sorry, create React app, we're just going to be typing create vanilla template, and what this will do is load up a vanilla template inside of this folder which I've specified. As you can see, that's taken inside of here, and ignore all of these other folders, but let's have a look at what's inside of here. So you have a source folder, the assets where you can put images or any other kind of assets, your TypeScript config, which is pretty plain. It's basically, you can modify this if you want to use a different target for JavaScript, and then it comes with this build file, which I'll explain how to do later, and a readme, which basically explains how to use it. It's basically the same readme here, and a git ignore just for ignoring files, which if you're using Firebase it will ignore that and things like that. So let's see how we can use this. Well, index.html is pretty simple, and same with script.typescript, simple stuff. And essentially how it works is we need to use two processes. So one of the processes is simply just going to be used for the live server execution, and you can see this is basically using the live server npm package, and we're just running the files inside of here. And to actually access your website, you can go to the source, and I should okay, so haven't actually accessed both, haven't initialized both processes, which is why we're getting some errors. But let me show you guys what the other process is. So I'll cd into my folder, and then what the other process is this is basically going to be the TypeScript compiler. So we're going to run the npx TypeScript watch process in the background, just so it's going to update any TypeScript we have in our code. It's going to add it all to this .js file in the background, and you can see this has been specified in the tsconfig. And yes, so if we make any changes to our TypeScript, it's going to get updated into this .js file. And you should notice that your index actually has the script.js already added, and to add any new scripts, what you'd have to do is, let's just say we make a new script.ts, we put it inside our source, and you can see it gets automatically added to this .js because of this TypeScript watch. And then to actually access it, you wouldn't access this script.ts like this, because JavaScript can't actually import TypeScript. See, it's going to give me an error. Instead, we have to point to this .js file, which is pretty easy. You should be able to find it if you just dash into that .js and then just try and find it. It should just be new scripts.js like that. And now you can see we can console.log from here. This is a new script. And yeah, there you go, this is getting run, and it actually gets run before this because it says defer. But yeah, let me just close all of that. One thing you'll notice is if I delete a script here, it doesn't actually automatically get deleted there, but we can fix that pretty easily by just deleting a JS file and recompiling everything, and it should just clear out the old things. So now let's say you're programming along in vanilla, you made something and you've obviously made some changes. Here's a change. You'll see this gets updated here, and Essentially, what happens is once you've finished writing your JS thing, once you finish writing your vanilla.js project, you also want a way to compile it into a just output folder, because that's essentially what vanilla pages need, is just a way to access all your files within one folder, so your scripts can easily be loaded by static page generators. And what we can do is, I'm just going to cd into this. What I can do is, this is where the build.py file comes in. So what this does is it takes all of the files, so everything from the source, TypeScript, HTML. It also takes CSS.json files as well, in case you're storing some data. And what it will do is put it all into an output dist file and leave it all as a single flat sort of folder structure, so that it can easily be turned into a static page. So let's run that. Just type -3 build.py, like so. Run that and you'll see successfully built project output is in a dist folder. Distribution stands for dist, and we see I've got our assets folder and index.html. Now one thing you need to be aware of is, see how we've got our .js and it's pointing to this JavaScript folder. Well, how it works is the dist takes all the files in the .js folder and then just puts them into the dist folder straight away. And then in all files, it's just going to check for those pointing. It's going to check for the original path. In this case, it's /.js and then into script.js, and it just replaces it with the flat file path, so everything can be accessed really easily. That actually also happens in script.js. So if you were to put a point to a different file, so let's say we make another file here. Let's just call this new page.html. Let's say this is a new page. So if we actually pointed to this new page within this script, so we'd set the location.href, we should point to the file which is in source. So we use the absolute path /source/ new page.html. And you'll see if I do this, we'll get directed to the new page, and that's all good. But you'll see if I actually compile this again, have a look in a dist folder, in the script.js, this has actually just been replaced with new page.html. So all paths, they're referenced absolutely in the source, but then when they get compiled and built into the dist folder, they all get put as regular flat sort of paths, just to make everything a lot easier. And yeah, the final thing you should know is it's actually written here, but since all the files in source load, there could be a folder here for each page. Folder structures and everything just gets flattened down into the dist file, into the dist folder. So all files actually need to have unique names, as you can see here. To use assets, we just add assets into this and then use their absolute path. They get converted into assets dash, and they pretty much stay the same, because as you can see in the dist file, the assets also just get maintained. And yeah, this is an example of how you would add an asset. So that's the basic idea. This is actually what I use to program most of the projects I make nowadays, because it's just really easy to write in TypeScript, keep everything nice and organized, and then still compile down to a dist and just send this off to GitHub Pages or some other static site. What would the word be? Static framework. Yeah, I can't think of a word, but that's the idea. Just a static site. Utility. I'm just gonna say that. I know there's a better word, but I can't remember it right now. So yeah, thanks for watching. That was basically an introduction to my vanilla template project. And yeah, hopefully you guys find this just as useful as I did. This was the steps on how to use it and the basic idea of why it was built. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in a future tutorial. Bye.